it snowed overnight,
Mhm.
but I was just walking around in shorts and t-shirt, and I checked the thermometer, the mercury on the wall. It was -2 degrees
Wow!
What the?
Deceptive.
Yeah, no,
because the rest of the winter was so cold that
that's
actually felt
cold. Yeah,
warm.
Relatively warm.
Yeah,
that
from
is
from
cold.
your biology point of view.
yeah, yeah. It's all
Amazing.
relative, you know.
Just,
I used to have a
I'm
friend when I first went to Sendai. I had a friend from Canada. He
Oh,
was from Nova.
Canadian. Yeah, I know what you
Yeah,
are
he's from
talking
Nova
about.
Scotia. Nova Scotia is like one of the furthest north places in Canada. It's like unbelievably cold. And one morning we went to the gym. I met him at the gym, and he walked there in shorts and t-shirt. It was the middle of winter. It was about knee deep in snow, like
I
knee deep in
know.
snow,
I
and
need.
he walked there in shorts and t-shirt.
Yeah,
Jesus
world
Christ.
Yeah,
famous.
Yeah,
They are
no,
like that.
that's
I was the survey taker back then. At the Haneda airport, where I took a survey from people who came from different part of the world. I was,
yeah,
told that, hey, take a 10 survey from Canadians. It's easy to spot
yeah,
the Canadian because of the, shorts and pants in the winter season.
yeah.
That's a world famous fact.
hell no.
Yeah, they're Canadians.
Yeah, yeah,
Hell no.
Japanese winter is not cold enough for them.
Oh my
No.
god.
Brilliant.
Hey guys, I need to ask. I need to ask tips on how to stay carnivore in Japan. I know DC, you're saying it's quite easy. Um,
Well, I wouldn't say easy, but there are places. I mean, there's everywhere you go, there's meat.
good.
But on the other hand, everywhere you go, there's really great food, like sweets and stuff as well.
Oh,
So
sure,
I
sure,
wouldn't
Yeah.
say,
sure.
so I wouldn't say it's
Agree.
easy,
Mm.
but I mean, it depends on your discipline, right? But it's easy to find meat. I mean, meat is just everywhere, and I mean, you can go to like shabu shabu is really good. Like where it's just where you cook in water on the table, and you just like slices of meat, dip it in till it's
Yeah.
cooked, and then eat like that. It's shabu shabu. But or yakiniku is my favorite.
And the
Uh,
yakitori as well.
and
Yakitori.
yakitori,
Stewed
Okay.
chicken.
yeah.
Yeah.
And you have
Mm.
like there's I mean even street vendors. You don't have to actually go to restaurants either. There's lots of street vendors everywhere that like will have yakitori and yakiniku like skewers all over the place. So finding meat's not the problem. It's avoiding all the other good food as well. That's the problem.
I know.
I had two American friends last month. I asked them how easy to be stay on carnivore. They were mildly carnivore, like cyclical
Yeah,
carnivore
yeah.
kind of stuff. And they told me it's easy, as
That's good.
DC correctly mentioned. Yeah, the
Yeah,
so many carb. I don't know the temptation seductively. The
Hmm.
carb world here, right? The rice and mochis and bread and good carbohydrate alongside with your meat selection. That's your that I don't know the willpower or discipline comes into
Yeah.
play. But I don't mind though if you are metabolically healthy. Here and there a little bit. You can enjoy that sushis and a little bit ramens and stuff.
Oh, I know. I'm
yeah,
gonna have the sushi. I'll have sashimi though, definitely.
Yeah,
Hundred
yeah,
percent.
yeah.
definitely you should do it
100%.
since you are not cancer patient, right?
I'm
I
having. Yeah. Well.
that's a good. That's good. I mean, you can even go to a supermarket and they'll have meat dishes. Lots of like you can get sashimi fish, or you can get beef and stuff like that as well. Like just some roast beef, even just a cheap supermarket.
It's
That's
funny they
already
can have
cooked and ready
eggs.
to eat. Just
Really?
go in, pick up lunch like for
Yeah,
five
true.
bucks, and it's I mean like
Really?
dead cheap. It's so cheap.
Mm. And
But
yakitori, stewed chicken is kids friendly. They can
yeah,
eat
Yeah.
that by themselves.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, that's right.
Oh, that's
Mm.
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, it's so
Okay.
cheap and so easy to get. I think it's cheaper to eat out in Japan than it is to eat at home a lot. So
Yes.
it's
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
easy. Mm,
Yeah.
it's really
It
easy.
looks like it. I mean, right now, like if you look at go to the butchers here, I was speaking to the butchers and um, beef prices are going to increase. That's
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
The
absolutely.
global
that's what the
trend.
guys are saying here.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
local butchers.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah. It's,
yeah,
I mean, it's only going to get worse for
yeah,
a while at least. So yeah. Um, but I mean, the only other, like I said, the only thing that makes it difficult is avoiding all the other food. Like they're really good. They have like when you go to all you can eat, for example, they have like table holidays all over the place. So which means all you can eat for a certain period of time. So if you go to like yakiniku restaurant
yeah,
and you get like a course for say 90 minutes, you can eat as much as you want in that 90 minutes, right?
Oh
yeah,
yeah. Speaking
So
of
that
which, you have
includes
to.
everything, including
Yeah, yeah.
desserts and stuff. So
R-
avoiding that's the hard part.
Yeah, yeah. But one caveat though is that some yakiniku restaurant, or actually majority of yakiniku restaurants, marinate the cheap meat.
yeah,
If
Yeah,
you go, Wagyu and Kobe, whatever, they're not gonna marinate because they know that already itself is tasty. But all those kind of a little bit old or cheap, the beef, they dump the marinated sauce and then mix it. That's why you have to ask them, oh, please give me just meat, no marinade,
yeah.
no sauce.
The marinade.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
I'm allergic.
Depends on
Yeah,
which one you go
allergic to
to. Yeah,
Yeah,
allergic
depends
to
on which one you go
marinated
to.
sauce.
Yeah. I mean, they always have choices on the menu as well. I've never had it marinated in sauces before,
Oh,
but
because you are, ordering a very expensive meat. I'm talking about
not so much.
like a little bit cheaper side,
Yeah,
budget friendly meat. I'm talking
yeah,
about coming from mainly coming from American beef. American beef.
yeah.
That's they
Depends on where you go
marinate.
to. Like I like yeah. I mean, in Hokkaido they have what called Genghis Khan.
Mm,
And it's just
mutton.
like yakiniku. Yeah, it's really good too. Um,
nice,
and
nice.
they give you lots of big portions as well, which I really like. So,
Mm.
but if you go to look at generally a good yakiniku restaurant, they'll just keep bringing meat out as long as you keep ordering it. Like, and they're really quick too. Like I know sometimes they'll bring it out slowly, sort of like run time
Yeah,
out.
and
But
here in
yeah,
Australia, they
yeah,
bring
Is
it
it?
out, and I'm like, no, 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 more meat, more meat.
yeah. Yeah, that's right. But yeah, not in Japan. Well, I've never experienced that in Japan. They bring it out as fast as possible, so it's really good. Yeah,
I'm
it's
looking
really
forward to
good.
it.
Yeah.
Sammy,
Oh,
we're we'll talk a little bit later on as well, but we'd love to catch up with you
Sure,
if
sure,
yeah,
sure. Definitely. Yeah, we haven't talked quite a long period of time.
yeah.
yeah, should do that.
Someone,
Yeah.
like tagged me and asking you that, oh, do you know Sammy? And then reply to the guy, and oh, we had a chat already, kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
we chat.
Yeah, I
We're
noticed that.
friends.
Of course, no need any introduction.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
14
Um,
degrees, King of
I've
Roy.
left here in 14 degrees and King of Roy's minus. Yeah, yeah. King of Roy. This area gets really cold. Actually, it gets really cold. It gets down
Oh,
in winter. It gets in the minuses. I've seen it here -8 before, so it gets pretty cold. But like countryside's always much colder than the city. City's all built up and covered in bitumen and concrete and stuff, so it doesn't get as cold. Which makes the in summer it gets really hot. But if you get outside the cities, it's always much cooler. You got lots of trees and grass and things like that. So mm, yeah, it does get cold out here. So talking about carnivore and other things going on. What's been going on with your channel, Jock?
No, mate. Where do I start? It's been quite busy on my front, uh, in terms of coaching, but like personally, nothing out of the ordinary really. I'm going to the Carnivore live conference in Melbourne in a couple of days.
oh, cool.
This Friday. So if you can
That's
get to
yeah,
meet
next
me there.
weekend, yeah. Hmm.
This weekend, yeah, this coming weekend, yeah, I'll be joining the likes of Bella, Steak by the Gal. I mean, not as a speaker, of course. I'm there watching.
Yeah,
Who else is gonna be there? Professor Bart K, Dr. Kiltz, and a whole bunch of other people. Really, it's gonna be such an awesome event.
Carnival
yeah. Oh, that's
Festival.
good.
Yes. So yeah,
Carnivore.
that's really been it. um, and in terms of what I'm doing on my coaching side, still doing the same thing. Helping people uh, with their health and lifestyle, trying to get them down to reducing all the crap out of the diet, like seed oils and sugars. Um, yeah, pretty much.
Oh, that's good, man. Yeah, excellent. Very good.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yes.
Can I
So,
ask you a question, Joe?
Yes.
So, I saw your success, your clients' success stories, brilliant.
Yes.
Are there any clients, especially female population, despite
Mm.
of the strict being on a carnivore, they can't get rid of the sugar cravings or carbohydrate cravings? Do you have such a client, or just
Yes.
they are successfully get rid of the?
Yeah, not just male and female. It's sorry, not just females, but males as well. I think it like so I coach people for a period of time, like a short period of time, and usually around that 12-week period, you find out how, I guess, addicted someone is to carbohydrates quite easily because I don't go for the rapid approach of just cut the carbohydrates and seed oils out
Mm.
immediately and plant foods. It's a slow transition for a period of time, but I also have clients that go cold turkey and just go straight carnivore. Most of the people that I coach have issues within that those 12 weeks. It's never just it's smooth sailing. A lot of people come because they know they've got issues with carb addiction,
yeah.
and some people deal with it better than others, and there are those that really do struggle with eliminating all carbs out of the diet.
I
That
see.
is normal. That is
Yeah.
very normal. I
Mm.
always tell people, like, if you are looking at you know truly achieving food freedom, it's gonna take more than 3 months.
3 months.
Oh, yeah.
Especially if you have been eating a carbohydrate rich diet and you've acknowledged that you are a carb addict, it is going to be a long
Well,
way.
the thing is, I mean, they've spent their whole life
Yeah.
eating carbs, eating fruits, eating all sorts of sweets and all sorts of other junk, candy and all sorts of other stuff. It takes more than 3 months to break an addiction
Yeah.
like that, you
Yeah.
know. Depending on how
I
old
had
they,
a
doesn't matter how
client
old they are.
where I
Mm.
had a client, female, and kind of a premenopause phase of their life, her life, and she had been, like a low carb-ish diet for years, and now she got a blood test. The result was incredibly awful.
Mm.
Triglyceride everywhere, the insulin is so high, the typical, metabolic
Mm,
dysfunction.
yeah.
Then
Yeah.
he wants to be on carnivore, but when her menstruation comes around,
Mm.
she has a ravenous craving for
Yeah.
carbohydrate.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think
Is
that's
it? Yeah.
because at that, like when they're going through that week, they're dumping a lot of nutrients,
Hmm.
Yeah.
and they just want like a quick fix for energy. I think
Mm.
that women, doesn't matter whether they're going through menopause or not, through that monthly week, they need to really eat a lot of food, um, and eat a lot of fat, eat a lot of protein, eat a lot of meat, full stop. Um,
Mm.
Hmm.
Whether it's it could be meat or eggs or whatever, but
Yeah.
I think they need to eat a lot more. They
Hmm.
could even
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
agree.
50%
That's
of their
usually the
diet
case.
again, you know,
Mm. Mm.
to help with the craving, because the cravings are really just because they're tired, because they're
Hmm.
dumping a lot of energy, they're dumping a lot of
I
nutrients,
see.
right?
Coming from
Um,
the needs of energy,
yeah,
Yeah.
needs for energy. Okay. Yeah,
yeah,
nice.
Yeah.
Thank
that's
you.
pretty
Thank you.
much
I
all.
just wanted to ask
It's just that,
you guys.
especially when they're new to carnivore as well, because their body is used to it. It's got into the programming of okay, carbs are a quick source of energy, because you grew up with on carbohydrates and sugars and stuff like that. So you think, oh, quick burst of energy. So that's what it's used to, you know.
Mm.
Um,
Mm.
And then
so
also, if she has insulin resistance, it's not gonna give our body to provide the energy comes from the ketones, coming from the fatty acid, coming from the fat adapted
Mm.
sources, isn't it?
yeah,
Our
that's right.
body try to find a carb oriented like an energy substrate.
Yeah, well, it's just that I think it's okay. The body is, I mean, you really don't get energy from carbohydrates. You don't get energy from food so much. Okay, it's really
Mm.
about nutrients to. Um, I mean, you get energy by making and mixing carbon with oxygen, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You will get more energy from fat, or okay, or because that's what our energy system is.
Yeah.
But it's your body is programmed over such a long time, a long period of eating carbohydrates that it thinks that that's what it needs because that's what it's adapted, or not so much adapted to, but um, what it's been programmed to see as a source of energy. Okay, I'm
Mm-hmm.
tired. Of going through this period, and I need this energy. That's what it's used to.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
it's like you need to change the tracks. When a train's being used to going just one long straight track its whole life, and then you change tracks, it's kind of like, okay, what's happening here, we're
Mm.
going a different direction. um, so it just take but the further along you go, there's tracks, the you get used to it, your body gets used
Yeah.
to it, and it'll
Mm-hmm.
see that as a better form of energy, or a better source of nutrients. And
Mm-hmm.
that's when you know you just have to go through that changes, or you just have to go through that reprogramming.
Mm-hmm.
um,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, at
that's what I
least three
think.
months.
Women should just, like, through that time, they really need to eat a lot of food, and
Yeah,
don't be
yeah,
afraid of
agree.
it.
The
Mm.
some influencers, female influence, swear you need a so-called good carbohydrate
Yeah, there's no
just before
such
that.
thing.
It's not such a thing, but they
Yeah.
swear that sweet potato
Yeah. Oh,
is crazy.
okay. There's a good example, right? Um, Even vegetables like sweet potatoes, okay, they have fructose in them, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, fructose doesn't go through glycolysis, and it hits the liver directly through your GLUT5 transport.
Mhm.
And what happens is that glucose actually depletes ATP production. Okay, so actually it's going to actually drain your energy. Right? It's going to make you
Minus.
tired. Yeah, it's going to actually give you minus energy. It's going to make you more
Mhm.
tired. All right. And things like that. Well, also, and fructose also drives up because you start producing like what is it?
ATP.
Bilirubin and things like that. You get a fatty triglyceride sort of tissue surrounds your liver. Okay, you get fatty liver, and that gets transported in your blood. So then when you get tested for like cholesterol and things like that, it drives your triglycerides right up high. All right. So fructose is really bad. Um, and
Mm.
it comes in, and I know, like, some people, it also actually reduces your uptake of electrolytes. Okay, so it blocks your electrolyte uptake. Fructose does. So
Oh, is it?
things like, I mean, all of your electrolytes, but some of these things are vitally important. I know some people, like Salad Boy, says that fruit juices are a good source of electrolytes, but it's total bullshit. It actually depletes your ability to uptake electrolytes. Um, and things like calcium and magnesium and everything like that your body needs is vital for, like, muscular contraction, heart regulation, and everything else that goes through your body. These electrolytes are vital for, and that also interferes with when that happens in your blood system, it crosses the blood brain barrier and actually gives you like a not so much a dopamine reaction, but um, like a very similar sort of dopamine reaction. But eventually, the fructose will actually contribute to things like Alzheimer's and Parkinson's and things like that because it
Oh
actually,
Yeah.
yeah.
yeah, because it's actually damaging that uptake of those electrolytes and other things in your body, like ATP energy, and it also um, even your the fatty acid that feed your brain. So
Yeah.
it's shockingly bad information what
But
these
you
people.
know, DC here, this Dr. Saladino, we don't follow him, but he kind of he's saying that because of the his fructose consumption, fruit consumption, honey, whatever, because of this, he was able to reverse the imbalance of electrolyte. Why
Yeah,
he came to this
Yeah.
conclusion?
because he's
What
a
do you think?
moron. He's a moron.
Oh
He,
damn! Why didn't I think about
Yeah.
that?
The only way you could come to that conclusion is because you're a goddamn moron. All right, you know there's
Mm.
nothing about how
But
fructose
he's an
impacts you.
intelligent guy, though. He's a I don't know, psychiatrist or whatever that he's in a residency.
Yeah, but
At
he
least
has
he
no idea
knows
about
micro. Yeah.
physiology. He has no idea about micronutrients. He has no idea about physiology. You know, he's not educated or qualified to talk about that stuff. Um, and he's never
or
ever
if he
practiced,
is,
even in the field that he did study. He's never ever practiced once. Not never had one patient. Okay, so
Oh.
why would you trust this guy? I mean, he's got
yeah.
qualifications to you know, I don't know, just clickbait qualifications to YouTube. You say, "Oh, I'm a
Yeah.
doctor. I know this sort of bullshit."
Mm,
Doesn't
That's
mean
it.
anything.
yeah,
Um,
I see.
the simple
It's
fact is,
yeah.
he thinks it's giving him energy because
No.
basically what he's doing is he was never fat adapted, never was. Right, so that's why he left carnivore. He
Mm,
used
No.
carnivore to get popular, and then changed because he was never actually carnivore. But he was never fat adapted, so he does not know what it's like to be fat adapted. Um, his so-called imbalances, he's just all this stuff is just it's comfort to like he's just is justifying their sugar addiction. That's all they're doing, you know. And when you think about the stuff that he's using, like the fruit juices, the fruits, and the honey, like honey is 40. Even if you have a very clean honey that you make yourself, produce yourself, 40% is fructose.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
So
Crazy.
it's insane. You know, to do that to your body is absolutely insane. And it's the same. Like there's another one going at the moment. I forget the guy's. He's on Instagram. He's always yelling all the time. I forget his name, but
Oh.
um, recently he spoke to Mark Bell from the Power
Yeah.
Project.
Yeah. I know who you're talking
He's
about.
very popular. But Mark Bell's now gone from carnivore diet, where he's been on carnivore diet for the last few years, but now he's talking to this idiot, and he's gone on what they call the sugar diet because they believe that the absence of fat is sugar will be healthy and you will lose body fat and get
Yeah.
ripped.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll lose body fat, but you don't have any nutrients at all from sugar. All right, and he's talking about use fruit, use all this sort of bullshit. It's just and candy, like they literally like their meals are candy. Right,
Yeah.
I take these candies, these gummy bears, and all this other stuff, and to go to the gym. All they're doing is justifying their sugar addiction. They have no clue whatsoever what micronutrients are important to the body, and
Yeah.
I mean, there's zero micronutrients in sugar or plants at all that the body can absorb and use. So trying to justify that, and of course it's popular because 99% of the population is addicted to bloody sugar. So of course
Yeah.
they love it when you say, "Oh yeah, look, I'm a fit, healthy athlete, and I eat all this sugar." They love that shit because that means, oh wow, that means I can eat that too. But what these are cancer diets. They're diabetes diets. They are metabolic dysfunction diets. That's what they are. And this is what the problem is with the fitness industry. This is why the fitness industry is so full of shit. It's not funny, and that's why I was. That's why I ended up the way I was. You know.
Mm.
Yeah,
Mm.
our body type or the aesthetic the part doesn't manifest their metabolic health. That's why well
No.
jacked, whatever the numbers are up,
Yeah.
doesn't mean anything in
It
terms
doesn't
of
mean
the
it.
metabolic
I
health.
was jacked. I was jacked when I was diagnosed stage 4 follicular lymphoma. I
Yeah.
was ripped. I was lean and I was strong and I was fit. Like I still did, I still did stair sprints. I still did. I mean, it was hard. It was difficult. I was slowing down and I was finding it more difficult, of course. But I was still doing stair sprints. I was still doing rucking. I was still doing, I hit the gym like the day before I left Japan. I deadlifted 260 kilos.
No.
So I was still fit and strong. I had energy because I was eating a lot of sugar. You know,
Mm,
Mm.
I was eating
Mm.
all the time. I was eating six
Mm.
times a day. That was
yeah.
the
We
problem.
all been there. We
And
all been there, right?
yeah, that's
We
right.
were
Mm.
taught
Mm.
So
that.
you can be fit looking, right, but still be sick, very very sick. You know. You
Mm.
know.
Agree. Yeah.
So
The,
and I
the,
think
yeah.
you're going to see
Sorry.
that very soon in people like Saladino and Mark Bell and the rest of them. You're going to see that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I
Didn't you?
mean,
Didn't Joff, talking about something? You know, I think
was it?
I heard you start to saying things.
Oh no, no. What was I saying? I can't remember. Oh no, no. Look, with Saladino, I mean, look, I think to play devil's advocate as a starting point for people to get into carnival because of his popularity. That's what attracted a lot of people into carnival in the first place. But in saying that, a lot of people realize that this guy isn't, you know, well, number one, he's not carnival, but number two, um, it sounds a bit crazy to, to incorporate about 400 grams of carbohydrates in your
It's
diet.
insane.
It's
Yeah.
insane, and people realize it. They try it, and they feel like trash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
The
like
ancestral. Sorry, go on. Go on, Jay.
no, that was it.
Joff, that was
That was
ancestral
it.
speaking though. It's impossible to get that 400 to 500 grams of the simple even complex carbohydrate when we were hunter gatherers or hunters.
Yeah, that's right.
How could you find such a 500
Yeah.
gram of the
It's
carbohydrate
impossible.
daily?
Yeah.
Impossible.
It's impossible. Yeah.
Have you tried?
I mean,
Have you guys tried?
even in recent, since, the whole reason the agricultural revolution happened is because we were in an energy crisis, right? We
Mm.
were hunting species to extinction and we couldn't find food. So we started to
Yeah.
grow things. Entire
Yeah.
cultures died out. A lot of the ruins you see around the world, entire cultures died out because we went from hunter gatherer to farmer. You
Right.
know? Um,
Well,
and that's what probably happened to things like the Mayans and everything else as well. They just died out because they went to farmer. But um, the problem is that the whole reason was even then, once we went to farming in the last 10,000, who the hell would eat 400 to 500 grams of carbohydrates through the day? No
well,
one.
that's what I'm saying. Have you guys tried it? Like, it's very hard to even get up to 100 grams. Your body
Yeah,
feels. Imagine someone who's been fat adapted, carnivore, all of a sudden just smashes down 400 grams of carbs. You feel sick.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so
And
that's what a lot of
Suicidal.
sluggish.
people are experiencing.
And
That's
you
what
get
people are
that,
experiencing.
like, I know when I was doing endurance sports when I was in my 20s and early 30s, like my coaches would say you got to carbo load, right,
Yeah.
before each event. But the problem is that you put on weight and you feel
Mm.
sluggish and tired, all right,
Mm.
and that because you
Yeah.
are, especially even if, like, because carbohydrates will actually deplete your ATP and everything else, but you're also putting on body fat that it's just like it's like carrying a backpack on your back while you're trying to run a marathon. Why would you do
Yeah,
that? You know.
yeah. Like I
Let's
get,
get to
I
this
get.
question.
Oh yeah, let's get this question down. Yeah.
Your thoughts or experience on dairy? I only have small amount of butter and heavy cream daily.
It depends on your how you can tolerate to dairy, isn't it? Some people
Yeah,
can get away with eating dairy.
Mm. Yeah, I
yeah,
tolerate it well.
Yeah, A1, A2,
Well, I tell myself.
aside.
yeah. Well, it depends on, like they said, it depends on how well you tolerate it, and it also depends on your goals. What are
Oh
your
yeah.
goals? All right. Now, generally speaking, butter is not so bad. Butter is fermented and pasteurized. Well, sorry, fermented and processed in with salt and things like that. So it's actually and it's just really high in fat. So you don't
Mm.
get the same really the same effects or as like straight milk or heavy cream because it's
Yeah.
kind of more fermented. All right. So it's slightly different. But with heavy cream, for example, you're higher in carbohydrates, and that can that can lead to a stall. Even simple things like having a cup of coffee, like one or two or even three cups of coffee, will put you in a stall when it comes to weight loss because not just
Yeah.
because of the coffee content, but because of the dairy content. When you add milk, that
Yeah.
little amount of milk is probably enough to stall some people in their fat
Mm.
loss. And the coffee issue aside, I don't recommend people. I recommend people get off coffee if they can.
Yeah.
But dairy, I don't think that we should be taking in dairy as adults. If you're a growing child, still developing, yes, so that's what it's meant for.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But
Yeah.
once you finish growing and you're an adult, okay, because you're dairy is meant to um, put on weight, because and help us develop with ketones and things like that. That's why human babies are the fattest babies on the planet, right? Because during that period we are growing our brain, and that's why like babies look like little bobbleheads. Their heads really oversized for their body, and they can't hold their head up, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
They look like little bobbleheads. But that body fat is what's keeping their ketones, feeding their brains. Right? And there's a great interview I did with Amber Ahern. We spoke about this, and there's a lot of good reasons for it. So you should check that out. It's really good. Amber
Yeah,
Ahern is
good
just
one.
brilliant. Yeah, and now these things. I mean, that's the whole reason for taking in dairy, taking in mother's milk, and but after a certain period, like 5 years, and I mean, we're still growing till like 18, 20 years old, so you can get away with it later on. But
Mm.
as a full grown adult, I don't think we should be taking in dairy. With the
And the
only other thing,
addictive nature of dairy. I'm
yeah,
one of those. I can
yeah,
keep eating that, like a big size of the cheese.
yeah. I
Definitely.
mean, there's
And
I mean,
kill it.
there's a lot of stuff, and different types of cheeses too. You in particular,
For
you want to
sure.
avoid because the things that they add to them and things like that. But the carbohydrate content in dairy is actually very addictive. And casein
Mm.
proteins and stuff like
Oh
that.
yeah.
It's can
Yeah,
also
the
Yeah.
be a
proteins.
problem. You know,
Mm.
so I tend to I avoid it. I don't take any dairy. I do eat butter every now and then, like because I like the fat content. If I
Mm.
am not eating so much, or I'm not getting enough fat in for the day, then butter's a great choice. But it's kind of like a snack. But I don't drink any milk or cream or anything like that. Every now and then, like I'm not saying like you have to avoid it for the rest of your life, sort of thing. But
No, no, no.
every now and then, I do like getting like a pot set yogurt that is like doesn't have any sugars or anything, all those nasty stuff that sort of added to it. But that's about it. That's about as wild as I get when it comes to dairy. But it's
Yeah.
like every few months, maybe. That's about it. Yeah,
Mm,
yeah. So
great.
yeah. But if you're
Nice,
not
mate. I've
having
got to
any
get going.
trouble, and it's are you gonna go, mate?
I've got to go here. My
All
kids are
right. Cheers, mate. Good to
outside.
see you.
Bye,
Take it
guys.
easy.
Oh, I
Bye.
miss
Bye, Sammy. Bye,
you.
DC. See
Bye
ya.
bye. See you soon.
See you, buddy.
Dad.
So yeah,
Dad.
I mean, it's not a problem if you don't have a problem with it. If it's not interfering with
Mhm.
your goals and you're happy to take dairy, then that's up to you. Yeah.
I'm kind of a lazy person. Not lazy, and sometimes I kind of fall into the trap, knowing that cheese is going to get me, but I end up buying some Parmesan cheese and goat cheese, which is less bad, and then
Yeah.
eating the crap out of it, and later on I regret. Sometimes I
Yeah.
do,
Yeah. Yeah. We all
knowing
do
that, but
that
I can't help.
sometimes. Yeah.
But it's not that the end of the world. I
No.
don't think that always perfect is our goal. I don't think so.
No, I
The
don't think so.
the lifelong stuff, right? The carnival. It's not that just the like a thing in the district. No, no, no. Just the just not diet. It's a lifestyle. That's what
Yeah,
I'm
that's
saying.
right. Yeah. I mean, it's part of your lifestyle. It's one
Mm,
part of it. It's not the whole lifestyle.
sure,
Yeah.
sure. And it's not a
Um,
religion either. It's not a religion
no,
at all.
no, no, that's right. So you don't need to be dogmatic about it every
Yes.
day. I think I know a lot of people get really excited and they start getting dogmatic about it and stuff like that. But I think when that happens, eventually what happens is you get burnout, and
Mm,
then people will quit, So I think that's another reason why a lot of people fail is because they get too serious about it day in, day out, and eventually it just gets too tiring to keep going, you know,
agree.
and then they start getting cracks in the wall sort of thing. So I think just take it easy, do it. I mean, you do get better the longer you do it, it gets easier, you know.
Agree, agree. I have a question for you, DC, if you don't mind.
Mhm.
Some actually many influencers or even kind of low carb doctors, they recommend that the keto or carnivore got to be cyclical.
Yeah,
The winter time you should be your carnivore, but some comes along, you should incorporate some complex carbohydrate. Otherwise, you're gonna run into that many problems. What your take on these advice or these people's opinion?
okay. I think you can get away with that if, depending on one, your activity, your climate that you are living in. Like if you're like salad boy living in Puerto Rico or Costa Rica, sorry, and you're surfing all day, you can get away with it for a short time. And like I say, like if you put like diesel into an unleaded car, even 1 liter at a time, like 1 liter of diesel and 60 liters of unleaded, it'll
Mhm.
run, but you're not seeing the damage that's happening inside, right?
Yeah.
Um, you can get away with, in hotter climates, people can get away with higher deuterium diets because you're sweating a lot, you're active,
Oh,
and you
yeah, yeah. Good
so
point. Deuterium point.
because you sweat out deuterium, right?
Mm-hmm.
But um, that doesn't mean that you can't live on just carnivore through summer. Like I'm in a very hot climate, Australia, Queensland, and north of Queensland. It's kind of like Okinawa weather. Okay, so it's very
Mm.
sweaty and very,
Yeah,
very humid in
sticky.
summer and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't have any trouble through summer at all.
Mm-hmm. Be on the
Um,
carnival.
yeah.
Yeah.
Now, traditionally speaking, like all the fruits that we used to eat, like before the winter
Mm-hmm.
to fatten ourselves up for the
Mm-hmm.
fast,
Mm-hmm.
that all comes around autumn, right? The end of
Yes.
summer, right? And that's so for maybe 2 to 3 weeks, we'd eat a lot of fruits and maybe even some wild vegetables, but
Mm-hmm.
nothing like there is available today. The fruit is I mean, the fruit back then though was very low in fructose compared to today, where it's
Mm-hmm.
genetically modified. There's
Yeah,
nothing natural about it, you
good
know.
point.
Um, and I mean, actually, I did a video on this recently called like fruit versus fat, right? I
Oh
think
yes,
people should check
yeah,
that out.
I
Mm,
watched it. Yeah.
yeah,
Mm,
yeah, you should check that out
correct,
because
correct.
it's yeah,
Yeah, I'd like to,
there's big difference.
yeah, I'd like to inject the uh, something adding to your your opinion, which I completely agree. I I was suffering from the eating disorder for 25 years.
Yeah,
From this experience, cyclical. One moment I'm gonna eat some good carbohydrates, so to speak, quinoa and avocados and all of that. I can't go back to carnivore. It's
yeah,
become big trigger enough to mess me up. That's why
yeah.
the person who has a eating disorder or kind of a difficult relationship with carbohydrates, I don't think that even so-called good carbohydrates is going to help you. I don't think so.
No, no.
Yeah, very addictive.
Yeah, it's just that's all it is. It's very addictive. Like even grains, like wheat and is actually very addictive stuff. So breads and things like that.
Yeah, of course.
So we like to
I wish I could
justify it.
eat.
Yeah, that's right. I'd love to. I mean, if I could live healthy lifestyle and still eat all that junk, then yeah, I would. I would for
Hmm.
sure. Like I'd
Of
live on ice
course.
cream if I could.
Yeah.
If it was all about calories, right, that's what I would live. I'd live on bread and ice cream. That would be about it, you know, because it wouldn't matter.
Mm.
But it does, and calories don't mean anything.
No,
It's
no,
it's
not at all.
about micronutrients. It's about carbon. It's
Mm.
about oxygen. It's about the metabolic processes in our body. Um, Man, I'm a carb addict myself, and it's still very tempting for me, even when I go shopping and I see like all these hot cross buns or
Oh, smell. The
yeah,
smells.
the smell of cream buns and things like that in the supermarket. I'm thinking, damn, you know, but
Croissant. Yes, of course.
yeah, I would love to partake. I would love to eat all that stuff, but it does make a difference. It does mean a lot, like we tend to justify it to ourselves by
Yes,
saying, "Oh,
justified. Well said.
it's just energy. We've got to do this." But if you find yourself and you're eating that stuff, and then you're eating it all day long because you're just getting hungry and hungry because
Mm.
it blocks your like um, the processes that involved in telling us that okay, I've had enough. I've got energy. Because you're not getting anything from it. You're not getting those micronutrients that your body
Yeah,
needs. So it
yeah,
keeps looking for more forms or more things to try and eat, So, but that's what you're used to eating. So that's what you're going to crave. You're going to crave the breads and sugars and stuff like that.
agree.
Yeah.
Can I share with an interesting, ridiculous advice I was given when I was suffering from eating disorder bullshit?
Yeah.
And it is called mindful eating. Nothing wrong about mindful, but here's the thing: put up the pick up the one raisin, dry fruit raisin, and
Yeah.
put your that raisin in your mouth. Close your eyes, appreciating the sweetness, and it should take 10 to 20 minutes dissolving. And I did that many times, believing that mindful, like a complex carbohydrate eating, that's gonna
Yeah.
somewhat, reverse my eating disorder. Ain't gonna happen. You're right. You know,
Yeah.
can you do that cocaine mindlessly sniff it? Are you able
Yeah.
to, like get away with a cocaine addict? No, no, no. It makes things worse. That's still one of the treatments I was given back then.
That's crazy,
Mindful carbohydrate
Yeah.
eating.
That's just great. Basically, what they're saying is that if you slow down your eating, you just eat less. So they're saying that eat less food and do more things. So it's like do more
No,
and eat less. It's just the same stupid advice. It's
Right.
just it doesn't work. It's crazy.
No, no.
Josephine says, I don't like the smell of fresh bread anymore. I walk fast past the
Really?
bakery.
Oh my goodness. I can't,
Yeah.
I can't, get rid of this desire.
I like to remind myself when I see these places and I smell that, I'm thinking it's toxic, it's toxic, it's toxic. It's just poison. Look at this. Look at these idiots. They're eating this poison. It's the
Mm,
only thing. But
yeah.
it's
I
yeah.
think that they are engineering the smell as well to
Oh,
get you
absolutely.
hooked,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah. Mm.
I don't think
Yeah,
that
I mean,
200 years ago the bread, the smell was like that. More
no,
kind of a hit your reward system. Hey,
yeah,
come
that's right.
over here.
But
Very
that's the thing
seductive.
too. Like you don't really get like that big dopamine hit from like fructose and that, but it does trigger your reward
Mm.
mechanism. Like, oh, this is a reward sort of thing.
Mm.
But it just destroys you. It really does.
Yeah, they were engineered.
Yeah, yeah. For years, I was wearing the sports undies, polyester, especially during summer, and gone back to cotton, even when organic ones also been looking at merino, which is rather expensive. Yeah, yeah. Actually, it's a good point. It's also about the materials that we everything that we come into contact with. I did a video on. Actually, I was talking to live about this, but I also made an AI video about this because we absorb actually up to 60% of what we touch through our skin. And that really has a very big effect on our hormones. There was a study done in 1992 and in early 2000s. In 1992, they experimented on 24 dogs. They put polyester underwear on them to see how it would affect their hormones. They're all male dogs. So we're just talking about male fertility at the moment, but this affects men and women, their hormone production. Um, and 12 dogs had cotton underwear and 12 dogs had polyester. The polyester ones, they had testicular shrinkage, they had zero sperm count and zero libido. Okay. Now in
Wow.
dogs, that's very impressive. Like that's quite a lot. For dogs, they would do anything. Um, and in the early 2000s, in the Cairo University in Egypt, they experimented on men, and they did the same thing and had the exact same results with men. They had zero sperm count. So coming into contact with polyester or fake materials, all kind of things like spandex and all sorts of other things that we wear every day, has a very big role in your hormone production. Okay, um, so like that was just talking about underwear and men's fertility, but if you talk about clothes, generally speaking, talking about underwear, pants, shirts, hats, everything. Okay, socks. You're wearing that much polyester or just man-made fabrics in general. That's going to really do or play a big role in hormone production, fat production, and all kinds of other metabolic dysfunction in your body. So I actually did an AI video. I'll show you this actually. Let's see.
Every day, we choose what to wear. A quick decision, right? But what if the clothes we put on our skin, our body's largest organ, are choosing something for us? Up to 60% of what touches our skin gets absorbed into our bloodstream. Synthetic fabrics like polyester and nylon often carry chemicals, phthalates, xenoestrogens, that can disrupt our hormones. For men, that might mean fertility challenges. For women, it could mean irregular cycles or mood shifts. In 1992, a human reproduction study revealed a staggering truth. Sperm counts had dropped by over 50% in just 50 years. A year later, environmental health perspectives pointed to environmental chemicals like xenoestrogens as a key culprit. These chemicals found in many synthetic fabrics don't just affect men, they can throw off hormonal balance for everyone. Most of us don't know this when we wear synthetics to the gym or in everyday life. We pick clothes for style or convenience or sport, but what if we could choose clothes that protect our health? That's where raw radioactive wear comes in. Our clothing is made from natural fibers, organic cotton and more to come, free from harmful chemicals. No hormone disruptors, just pure breathable materials that let your body thrive. This is our mission. Raw radioactive wear isn't just about fashion. It's about feeling good in your skin, knowing you're reducing your exposure to chemicals that could harm your body. For you, it's peace of mind about your health. It's about confidence in your body's balance. Small choices make a big difference. Swap synthetic shirts for organic cotton with raw radioactive wear. You're choosing health, sustainability, and a future where you feel like you. Ready to make the switch? Visit raw-radioactivewear.myshopify.com and discover clothing that's as real as you are. Wear pure, live free. Every day, we choose what to.
There you go.
Good.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
I mean
I know.
that's something I started. I'm that the Raw. That's my company. That's something I just started.
Oh, great.
So
Great.
I'm trying to source as many natural fiber clothes as possible. At the moment, it's all cotton, but there are many other things that you can get, like bamboo, wool, and all sorts of other things too. So I'm trying to get as many of these things together in a practical sense too, because people still want to wear fashionable sort of streetwear and gym wear and all that sort of stuff. So that's what I'm trying to do at the moment.
Brilliant.
Because I think it's very important. It's very, very important that people don't understand just how much this can. I mean, what we touch, what we come into contact, how much of an effect this really has on our bodies. There's more than just about food.
You
So,
produced this kind of a cotton stuff one
Yeah.
or two live streams ago, and since then I tried to wear that cotton stuff, cotton like that. Thanks to you, you are
that's good.
contributing my zero oxygen, the loaded, clothes of choice. Because let's face it, polyester stuff is easy to manage. They're not gonna
Oh,
shrink.
yeah.
It lasts
No.
longer.
Yeah.
That's the point we have to realize that
And
how
it's
toxic.
cheap to produce.
Yes, needless to say.
Yeah, that's right. So it is, like natural products at the moment more expensive, but it's far more healthier. I mean,
Yes.
if you think about what it's really costing you to wear these cheap clothes, and it's so important. It really is. So I try to make sure that all my clothes are either cotton or something natural. I mean, there are things you can do. I mean, there are things that I know depends on how you treat them as well. Can be a problem, but generally speaking, it's still going to be a lot healthier than like polyester or any other sort of fake fabrics. So I think it's really valuable thing to be doing.
Yeah, you don't need to be carnivore to change this aspect to be healthy, right?
No, that's right. Anyone can wear.
That's
I
nice
mean,
thing.
anyone that wants to just wants to have a natural or more natural sort of lifestyle or just healthier clothes. I think it's available for everyone. You don't have to be carnivore for that.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I think another thing is that generally speaking too, those man-made products like polyester actually keeps your body hotter as well. I know that when I like the difference between wearing natural products in the gym, cotton breathes. The natural fibers breathe, and they actually keep you cooler when you are doing sports and other things, working out in the sun and things like that. So I think it's far more beneficial.
Agree.
May not, like I said, it is more expensive at the moment, but I think health is worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could be why that Josephine. I think you get more sensitive on the carnivore diet as well. So I think
Yes.
you know
Can I share with one story?
yeah.
Indigenous tribe, like the people who have been living the same lifestyle for centuries, the Western people went there and saw that kids are, naked. And then, oh, sorry, we're gonna provide you the some, second hands, whatever the nice cloth. And then they started to wear the synthetic material cloth. Now
Yeah.
we saw that, kind of a skin issues because they didn't have any tolerance. And
Yeah.
even because of this, as you already mentioned, living the ancestral lifestyle, they tune to nature, they are more sensitive. That's why
Mhm.
they react more rapidly than us, more than society, people who are kind of already damaged.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I mean when you're on like the normal Western diet sort of thing, you just you're numb. Your
Yeah, yeah,
body's numb.
numb.
Yeah?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you don't
Paralyzed
really notice
almost.
it so much. Yeah, and you don't
Mm.
really think. Not many people will think about it either when they do have these skin conditions that pop up. They don't really think, oh, maybe it's the clothes they're wearing, because they just
Mm.
naturally thought, oh, it's just clothing. But
Yeah.
it's not. It's like recently too. I've seen people they're actually recycling plastic waste into clothes for
Mm. They do.
um, for homeless people and all sorts of things, but they're really creating health problems.
Yeah,
Really,
disservice.
yeah, it's a real disservice. I mean, sure,
Mm.
they look like they're doing this like noble thing and helping people, but they're really not. They're really
Mm.
making them sick. You know.
Yeah, yeah.
Quiet chat today. Public holiday here in Oz. Yes, so many
Mm. Oh,
people
really?
would be at the beach or still sleeping. Yeah,
Public
yeah.
holiday. Okay.
Yeah, it's public holiday here today because yesterday is Easter Sunday. It's Easter weekend.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay,
So
okay.
Friday was Good Friday. So
Mm.
and then we have Saturday, Sunday, Easter
Mm.
Sunday, and then we have the holiday for Sunday on the Monday.
Yeah.
So
My prediction, Japan is going to apply the Eastern Sunday maybe in 2 years because we
yeah,
mimic that Western
yeah,
society do things right.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's right. I mean, Christmas is really big in Japan now.
Of course.
And
These days,
Halloween.
Halloween, and Valentine's Day, and
Yeah,
Thanksgiving is
Valentine's
becoming a
Day.
little bit same.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, probably you're probably right. Another 2 years maybe. Now we have Easter.
Yeah, we're gonna do it. Buying a chocolate.
Any reason to buy chocolate?
Yeah, we love chocolate,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Well, Valentine's and White Day. Yeah,
Oh yes,
すごいよね.
you're
Yeah,
very misled, manipulated by
yeah,
chocolate, the companies.
yeah, for sure. Yeah,
Mm.
I mean, that's why it's like it's really easy to be carnivore because it's easy to find meat in Japan,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
anywhere, all over the place.
Yeah,
But it's
yeah,
also very difficult because there's so much variety of everything else. Yeah.
exactly.
In that respect, like it can be difficult, like
Yeah,
willpower
so
wise.
so many attempt, like events and foods and always.
Yeah, mm, yeah, that's right.
Ramen
But
is, I think, the most irresistible temptation, isn't it?
oh
Ramen
yeah, I
shops
think
is everywhere.
ramen's so popular in Japan, and
I
I
know.
think the problem with that too, though, is the instant stuff, like the in those, you go to the convenience, you get all these, or even supermarket, that's just that instant noodles, the instant ramen
Mhm.
in that little styrofoam cup, and you know, kids love that stuff. They just live on it,
Mm,
and
yes.
eczema, skin conditions in Japan is really um, is quite high. Like you see
Yes.
a lot of the kids that I used to teach, like almost half of them had eczema. You know,
Ah, the atopic
so
conditions as well, right?
yeah,
These
yeah.
days.
But they lived on that stuff.
Mm,
It's
they think
sad.
it's, yeah,
Mm,
genetics.
Yeah, that's right. They think it's just genetics, but it's not.
No,
Actually,
not at all.
one Carolina Barton, she's Polish girl. She had really bad. She was a, a world champion gymnast and dancer,
Oh.
but she had to finish her career because of eczema. Um,
Mm,
but her doctors, as growing up, told her, go vegan, and it'll clear it up. But
oh
it just
man.
yeah, and it just made it worse and worse. It's very similar story to yours. but
Yes, yes.
but now
I
she
feel her.
studies nutrition. She's doing a master's in
Mm.
nutrition now, and
Wow.
she's strict carnivore. She's quite a smart
Mm.
girl. Uh,
Mm.
but yeah, I mean, that ended her career though. You know, being
Mm.
vegan, she had no energy, and she had really painful eczema all over her body. You
Yeah.
know, so
I watched that halfway through. I haven't finished that yet. I have to
uh,
watch that.
yeah,
Brilliant
yeah,
story.
yeah, she's got a great story actually. Yeah, so
Mm.
I think I wish I knew about that stuff when I was teaching these kids because I would love to help them
Mm.
with their eczema. You know, not that they'd
Oh,
listen.
no, no, you can't do it because the parents believe that plant-based is the
Yeah,
best bet.
yeah,
Red meat causes whatever the heck it is.
yeah, that's right. Yeah, I know that
The
when
culture.
yeah, I know a lot of people when they in Japan, a lot of girls, especially women, if you eat meat, you get fat. You know,
Oh
so
yes,
yeah, it's
I
crazy.
was one of those avoiding a
Yeah,
fat and meat completely.
yeah,
Hence the cancer formation. Hence the mental disorders.
yeah, that's right. So, but I suppose we've all gone through that, haven't we? Yeah, it'll
Yeah.
be a bit of a gamble getting merino undies. Surely they won't be too itchy. Yeah, it could be.
No.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm not so sure about the wool undies, but yeah, cotton's good. Cotton's very good.
Yeah. Yeah. Breathable,
Mm.
easy
Yeah,
to
that's right.
wash, manage, and like silk.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. So
Mm.
I'm just gonna play another video here. Let's see what we got. I'll remove this one. Let's play this one.
Every morning we make choices. What to eat, how to move, how to live. But what if the smallest choice, something as simple as a supplement, could help your body rebuild, restore, and thrive? Our bodies are incredible machines, constantly working to repair and renew. But modern life, stress, diet, aging, can slow that process down. That's where science meets nature. Cerule, a biotech pioneer, has spent decades researching how to support your body's natural systems. Stem Enhance Ultra, backed by clinical studies, boosts your body's release of stem cells, helping repair and renew tissues. Plasma Flow supports healthy circulation, delivering nutrients where they're needed most. And Cyactive balances inflammation, clearing the path for your body to heal. Sarah and Mark didn't always feel this way. Like many of us, they felt the weight of fatigue, aches, and stress. But they discovered a way to support their bodies from within. Choosing a healthier path isn't just about making a single decision. It's about embracing a lifestyle that supports your well-being every day. With Cerule, you're not just taking supplements. You're making a commitment to your health journey. Cerule's products aren't just supplements. They're a commitment to extraordinary health. Made from natural ingredients like Klamath algae and spirulina, they're designed to work with your body, not against it. For Sarah, it's energy to keep up with her day. For Mark, it's recovery to stay active. For both, it's a step toward a longer, healthier life. Backed by years of research, patents, and a mission to build extraordinary lives, Cerule is changing how we think about wellness. Small choices, big impact. Start with one capsule, one step toward vitality. With Cerule, you're not just living, you're thriving. Ready to feel extraordinary? Visit dcfit.cerule.com to discover Stem Enhance Ultra, Plasma Flow, and Cyactive, your partners in wellness.
Yeah, that's
Brilliant.
I like that. I've got to admit now that I have now that I'm no evidence of disease, but my organs are recovering so much faster now that I'm on these raw products. I think. I mean, the carnivore diet makes a big difference, and my other lifestyle habits make a huge difference. I mean, that's what's got me in remission and kept me there. Which people can check that out in my 8 habits video
Mm.
because I think those
Good
habits
one.
are very important. They're very, very important. I think that they will really help people. But these cereal products have really sped things up for me in recovering my my organs and things like that. So, and you can get down the corner there, you can see the hardcore carnivore. You can get here in Australia and New Zealand, you can get carnivore friendly stem enhanced ultra. Okay, so it's nothing in there that is not that is plant based or anything like that. So very good products. Actually, the only things that I've found over the last probably 30 years of taking supplements and all sorts of other stuff that actually do what they say they do. You know, everything else I've found like over the years they do nothing. Honestly, I think that the most of the 99.9% of supplements you see on the market do absolutely nothing. In fact, they, if anything, they make things worse, you know, for your hormone production and things like that. So I think it makes a big difference. Hello, Running Tap. Good to see you.
Hey.
Hope you're well. Having a good Easter with your family. Okay, so
All right. Sorry. I have to mention that I am leaving, and
okay.
thank you for inviting me
I was just
again.
going to finish up actually.
No. Talk to you soon, DC, and everybody on the screen in front of the screen. Thank you very much. Talk to you
Yeah, good
guys.
to see
Bye
you,
bye.
Sammy.
Thank
Have a
you.
great
Bye
day.
bye.
Take care.
Bye bye.
All right, and then it was just us. All right, guys. So we're gonna probably end that, and I'll give you. If you have any more questions, please fire away. If not, I'm gonna head off. But I hope you all had a good Easter with your family wherever you are, and you know, remember what Easter is really all about. Not about the chocolate eggs and things like that. So just remember that you know, family is important, and I hope you all enjoy the time together. Anything else? I hope you have a good carnivore week and stay healthy and stay strong. And we'll talk again soon. I'll be doing more of these lives every Monday, or sorry, Australia time, every Friday evening and every Monday morning. Okay. So feel free to join the chat and ask any questions you have. Here's a question. Do you get bone marrow very often, and do you ask the butcher to cut the bone so it's accessible? Yeah, I get bone marrow weekly. I like it. It's I tend to eat it like maybe first thing in the morning. I think it's really good. Gives me a lot of energy for the day. Um, yeah, sometimes I get the butcher to cut it, like make canoes for me. They call it, I mean, you slice it lengthways, they call it a canoe. But otherwise, I don't mind. I just sort of dig it out with a knife, and then I just sort of add a bit of salt to it on the plate and just eat it like that. I'm quite comfortable doing that as well. Sometimes I'll eat it cooked, sometimes I eat it raw. I prefer either I like to cook it and then let it cool down because I prefer it solid, more solid, rather than when it's hot. It's kind of more gelatinous, and I sort of don't really like the the texture that much. But you know, cold, I like it very much. It's very good, but full of collagen and all sorts of other things that great for the body. Other things that I like to do, I've just finished before I did this actually, was breath work. And I think that's really important. I think people need to sort of investigate that for themselves as well. I do have some breathwork videos, and again, should check out the 8 habits video and the 4 habits, you know, in 15 minutes, because it's not a very big time commitment. You know, you do 4 things in the morning that in just 15 minutes that doesn't really take much time, and it can really make a big difference to your day and to your life. Okay, so thanks for joining the chat today, everyone. I really appreciate it. Running Tap, Terry Ride, and Josephine, and I really appreciate you joining and supporting the channel. It's made a very big difference. So I hope you all have a great day, and I hope you all had a good Easter and have a great week. Take care, everyone.